Previously on DPS.
You need to summon some power somewhere to convince me that you are the person I'm looking for to join this team. So next week, after coming through into the top 5, I can tell that you're burnt out. Fortunately for you, there's no task this week. So Justin and George have some activities lined up for you to obviously get together and know yourselves through teamwork and go and have some fun just to relax. Thereafter, you'll also be able to have an opportunity. George will be able to tell you to interact with me for a full day to begin to understand what is the vision inside this head and where we want to take the business.
After toiling and exhausting 10 weeks filled with assignments, eliminations, sleep deprivation, and Costa's voice echoing in contestants' minds, I think a break for them is well deserved. Wouldn't you agree? We decided it was time to treat the contestants to a little R&R, some rest and relaxation. I know I need some. My goodness. Day 1 was spent at Bounce, a really cool place to redirect any sort of stress piled up in areas of your body you can't reach. Conveniently located at Lusaka's Garden City Mall off Airport Roundabout. Beautiful. Our DPS contestants surely have a story to tell. Take Mark, for instance, a second-time participant of the competition. He won the first ever DPS and even worked at Diamond TV. Having fallen off, he worked on himself and is back for a second chance. He has shown us thus far why he won the first time around.
Oh, I feel like it's the best season. Ultimately, it's supposed to be the best season. The last nice season you guys had was season 3 with George and them. I feel like this season is gonna do better than the Georgie season.
Rachel first caught the attention of judges with her age. Being the oldest contestant in the competition, she has shown us she can match up to the energy that the young contestants have brought. Having quit her job as a customer experience officer to pursue her media passion, this mother is here till the finish line.
It's been very exciting, It's been very, very exciting. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Starting from the very, very first task. I remember in our first task, I was made team lead for my team. It was rosy until we had to make a very, very hard decision. Being team lead, I needed to mention who my weak link was in that particular team. It wasn't a very, very comfortable situation, but also it wasn't one of the most difficult ones. I wouldn't say it was very difficult because there was one person in my team that was obviously a weak link. And at that point, it was very easy for me to mention the name of the person because, it was easy that way. But then after that the person was eliminated, I started to receive messages, I started to receive voice notes, and at that point I realized being team lead was not cool at that particular time because then it meant that I needed to make tough decisions in that first task. Being the first task, and also just the reaction that I had gotten was a little bit, it took me aback. I didn't pay so much attention because we're just getting into this thing, and I realized that this person was just trying to vent. And so yeah, starting from first task to second task to the third, fourth, it's been an emotional roller coaster. Getting into the task, you're excited, getting to work with the teams, having to implement the things that we're doing, going out in the field, it was all exciting until you get into the preview room for you to be told that, I remember on one of the tasks, we were told we didn't do good enough, but also the joy came in one of the tasks where we got 8 out of 10. I remember it was the Zambia Kuchalo task. That was really thrilling.
Mike traveled all the way from the southern tip of Zambia to participate in the country's biggest TV presenter search. I was the first to do this, so I don't know what the big deal is.
Before here, I used to watch people on TV and just get to see them and want to have a perfect picture of what I thought should be of them getting to bring across on TV. But getting to be on DPS has actually taken me through the process to how television is done. The pre-production, the production itself, the post-production and everything. So I've gotten to understand and appreciate that it's quite a lot that goes on before we as the consumers out there get to see a picture on television and stuff. So it's been learning. It's been a learning process for me. I've learned quite a number of things.
The Livingston dweller left his career as a radio presenter to pursue his TV passion. You know what? I'm starting to see a pattern here. Anyways, that's Mike.
No one is going today. Yes! I speak to your life, my brother. I speak in the mighty name of God.
Taona has no doubt made Kitwe proud. Her innovation and attention to detail has brought her this far in the competition.
You appoint me team lead. It means that I am leading you. So you just have to listen to what I say. But I feel like I wasn't being heard. And the people that gave me a tough time were Nelton and Matakala. Matakala especially, because the reason I say Nelton is because there was a point where I was trying to bring out a point and then he just cut me off fast. But that's the only thing. And after he noticed that it affected me, he came and apologized. But for Matakala, it's like everything I was saying, he was just stepping on it, just going against it. And he gave me the vibe that maybe he wants to be team lead. That's the vibe he was giving me, that maybe he wants to be team lead. And I wouldn't, in my head, I was so sure that he wanted to be team lead. I gave up. I told them I'm no longer team lead, Matakala is team lead.
Her Coppola side has also picked out a little, showing that she's not afraid to fight back, even in the midst of threats.
The first time I ignore her, it now gets serious when she sends me a voice note, because it's like, this person I've been pushing her away, I'm ignoring her, she's not stopping. She sends me a message, she calls me, and now she's sending me a voice note. So I also get frustrated to a point where I'm like, if I was with her, I would have beaten her. If she was around, I was going to beat her.
Matakala has really proven to be a very competitive opponent in this season, with a clean streak so far.
Diamond TV presented season 5. Let's see. It's been a wild journey so far. I didn't think this is what it would look like after 8 weeks. I wasn't mentally ready for what it's brought with it, but I've enjoyed it. It's been a good couple of weeks.
He's on record saying if he isn't picked, Diamond Media will be sending another graduate to the streets.
I think I'm talking about climate change because, well, firstly, I graduated yesterday. So if you people deny me the chance to be a presenter on Diamond TV, then you are sending one more graduate to the streets. Exactly.
Well, we wouldn't be the first ones to do that.
Definitely will not be the
fair.
last.
Not fair. But okay.
Well, let's see how long this graduate stays off the streets.
I think the deepest bonds that have formed has to be the ones with the other contestants at the hotel. I think we bonded from the very first day. So one person that I'll point out specifically would have to be Mike. I think he's a real guy. Yeah, I like that about him. Of course, I would like to further the connections that have formed here, because I think everyone is talented in their own respect, but also these are good people. So, yeah.
Yeah, so basically what I would say is, since the time we came here, now remember that I'm one of the 3 that we were coming from Livingstone, and representing the Southern Province from Livingstone and coming here. Obviously, even before we came here from Livingstone, the 3 of us, there wasn't much of that particular relationship that we shared. We were just people that were ordinary people in our ordinary worlds. But DPS got to bring us together. We related in that particular order where we actually knew each other personal, and you could know that this person entertains this, they don't entertain this. We knew each other's strength and their weaknesses as well. Also in respect to the fact that most of the tasks that we've been having were based on group work and teamwork. So yeah, so we got to bond with different people from the Copper Belt, even the guys from the Copper Belt. I've had a great relationship with almost everybody, I would say so. Suzanne is out of the competition. She was a great vibe. Not even to mention Penelope herself. Penelope was just a mad vibe. Like she just used to bring light to every moment that we were having, either at the hotel where we were lodging, or even just when you go out in the field to do your particular task for that particular week. She was just a vibe. Even mention everybody that has remained. I don't know if I would say that I haven't had a great relationship with anybody of them. Maybe it could be on their part, but I've actually communicated and engaged and have had a relationship that is very great and positive with most of the contestants since we began this top 20, even up to now as top 5. So it's been great for me. Nobody has given me a hard time. I've gotten to learn Matakala's persona, I've gotten to learn Mark's persona, and I've gotten to respect and appreciate how they are as human beings, and this is what has brought us even this far in terms of mutual respect. You understand? Sure.
So this man says, Matakala, your story is not newsworthy. Well, he wasn't doing this, but you know. But he says your story isn't newsworthy. You're just blowing hot air. Me? Hot air? It's winter. It's cold air. But anyway, that's his opinion, right? I don't blow hot air. No, I don't. But I do admit that this story wasn't the best idea. So yeah, but that's his opinion, and I respect that because he's the judge at the end of the day. And I think he meant to say you are blowing hot air on on this particular task. I think he just forgot about the other tasks. So.
On this competition, I have known Matakala the longest. I met him in the first audition we had in Kitwe, and we got to know each other. We became friends. And then when we got here, because of how close we were there, now we've been more distant. And he actually talked to me about it. He told me he's noticed that I've been distant with him lately. And my response still remains the same. I feel like who I knew then and who I know now are two different people. He's shown me a different person, and it's kind of hard to cope with who that person is, because I knew him to be this certain person, and after we get here, he's just something else. Not in a bad way, but something else. It's not something I can deal with like that. And also, I feel like to some extent, ever since we got here, I've noticed that there's some pretense in him. Like, I don't know, maybe he was pretending in the first place and then this is the real him, or maybe that was the real him and he's pretending now. So
Oh, ta-da! Here we are, top 5.
Honestly speaking, first of all, I should admit that everyone in this running, especially the ones in the top 5, are extremely talented, and anyone could take this home. In all honesty, who do I think could win this? Who do I think could win this? I'll say Matakala. Matakala he's a natural. He's got TV flair. Honestly, I also think that he's hardworking. I've seen his work ethic. I've seen how he does his thing, how he packages himself whenever he's on set. He's smartly dressed. He speaks well. If not me, I would say Matakala.
So who would I bring back? I would bring back Ndashi. The reason I would bring back Ndashi is because I feel like her elimination was a little unfair. I understand she was eliminated because she had other commitments and she didn't prioritize the competition. But I feel like she wasn't given the opportunity to show herself and what she's capable of. When I saw her, I knew she's talented. From the interactions we had because I was put with her in the first assignment, I could tell she's got a contributing mind, she's got teamwork attitude, she's a team player. So I would bring Dashi back. I would definitely bring Dashi back.
Some of these people that I speak of, well, Miriam left. Miriam was like my child. Ukata was also like my child, you know. Shout out to my children. Dawana also were cool. You know, she's cool people. Just as she's too short, she needs to grow up. How can you be that old and you're short? She needs to grow up. And yeah, Mike is also an amazing person. Shout out to Mike.
Mark is a cool guy. I'm even surprised that you are saying that I tried to stroke his ego. Mark is like my friend. If anything, if I was given an opportunity to choose who I want to remain with in the top 2, I would stay with Mark. Because Mark is so real, like he's real, he's down to earth. I feel like everybody else is just a hypocrite to some extent. Sorry to say, I know that came out a little strong, but sorry to say, I feel like people have been pretending. Everybody else that I haven't mentioned in the top 5, except Mike. Mike and Mark are like...
What do you think about Matakala?
I don't hate you. Yes, I did.
I think it was after elimination, and Rachel and them were confronting me about calling Akeem emotional, right? I was telling him, nah, he's too emotional, he needs to get his mind straight because the industry that we're in will eat him up, you know, if he's not strong mentally, right? And he took offense to that. And granted, you know what I mean, like, it's his first time experience doing this. And like I said, we come from different walks of life. So to him, someone calling him emotional could be something that he sees as disrespectful. So yeah, Rachel then called me out, which is funny because then Rachel later on in the game called him emotional. But yeah, so there was a meeting of some sort to say I shouldn't call him emotional, and then Matagala pitched in, and then we had that little misunderstanding, but it wasn't that deep. Like I said, I don't hold things to heart. The following day I was okay. You know, I don't know about him, if he took it to heart and it's something that's been lingering in his mind. But for me, it happened in that moment and I forgot about it. As soon as we got into the bus, I was laughing with everybody. I had forgotten even that I had a misunderstanding with someone because I don't keep things to heart.
Coming up, Costa gets candid with the contestants. Like I have said time and again, the Diamond TV Presenter Search is a life-changing opportunity for the participants. They do not leave the same way they came in. Next stop, a date with CVO. Costa wanted to treat the contestants to some one-on-one time. And what better than a serene environment at Lilai Lodge in all its natural glory. This is an opportunity for a candid interaction between CVO and the contestants. Enjoy.
Moyo wangu uchitanga wayamba soti pena peza muntu onikonda zona uyu mwana kazi yonikumbusha mama uyu mwana lume wanikumbusha dada echiti wamene uyu niye hausu wako wamene uyu niye nina wako chikondi cha zona nponda hapana nenupondepo nichendi chalo jua mana wako. Everybody wants to be the sunshine in their lives, but I would rather be the moon that shines in your darkest moments. Everybody wants to be the sunshine in your life, but I would rather be the moon that shines in your darkest moments. Ooh, I love you, I love you, and I want you to know. Chalo jua mana wako ni chendiwe. Chalo jua mana wako aidi niwe. Wakumbusho ulanda. Wakumbusha mau. Chalo jua mana wako ni chendiwe. Chalo jua mana wako aweli mwe. Wakumbusha mau. Wakumbusha ulanda. Everybody wants to be the sunshine in your life, but I would rather be the moon that shines in your darkest moments. Everybody wants to be the sunshine in their lives, but I would rather be the moon that shines in your darkest moments.
Before digging into the meat of the moment, we need to do a bit of loosening up. The contestants have a casual moment with CVO. Jokes were told, memories shared, and interesting of all, a rap battle where bars were punched, revealing some hidden secrets which were initially away from the producer's script. I must admit, I didn't know any of this.
Who's starting?
We have to write? We have to write it down.
No, you can share yourselves. Just
Okay.
just one bar.
That's one bar.
Each person. Then we see how it goes. One by each round.
Okay.
Let's start. Guys, no hard feelings. I love you all.
Yeah.
Okay. talking about love in the DPS. Matakala found love in the DPS.
Oh!
Tell us the truth. You were hurt when Penelope left.
Yo!
You probably cried yourself to sleep the day she left.
This guy. Truth telling, eh?
Great talent.
That was 4 bars.
You're not, Matakala, you're not rebutting.
Respond.
I didn't see that coming.
I also didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
So you pitted us against Mark, Rachel, and the failure of an editor.
Yo, the failure of an editor.
You two have been team leads, but you've all failed to deliver. If this was a ward, a delivery room, there would have been so many miscarriages. We can end there. We can end
We want to hear the comebacks.
Okay. You wrote a documentary, but the only thing that saved you was my good picture. And I'm the 3rd editor. Mike.
Yeah.
10 takes on the mic, and you say you got talent?
Yo.
Maybe you should go back to Livingston, because you're just wasting rent.
Whoa!
You're wasting mine.
10 takes on
Somebody here says they got talent, but all they do is blow hot air. Or talk and no data. To be honest, your talent is mere.
Well, I didn't cry myself to sleep, but I see why that would get to you, because she gave me attention without even trying. You've been pursuing her since the start. But I can give you her digits, like I helped you get those digits at bounce. Wait, I'm not done. I'm not done. So when we're done here, I can give you a lecture on how to be a man. Because what I saw there, you were a baby girl. I can patch you to sleep, play with your hair.
Okay, relax.
I see that's what you wanted her to be doing to you.
Respond.
No, I'm this guy. This guy.
You're still going?
I'm this guy. He came after me. So, you say my talent is meh. I would say it's rare. Because the whole DPS, I'm the only team lead who's delivered a task and won it clear cut. Silvio can confirm that.
I'm not involved.
Okay.
This whole competition, the only editor who's won a task is not you. So if you say my talent is meh, I question your editing skills, bro. You can't even edit your own lyrics.
It would seem Matakala has won this round. Mark, let's give credit where it's due. But before we spill all the soup and possibly ruin the appetite, it's bon appetit. contestants took this moment to ask CVO some of the questions they have been harboring. He was open enough and gave them all the answers. Rachel had a few questions up her sleeves and Costa rightfully gave the responses.
I know that many of the Zambian media houses are jumping onto the digital platforms because that's a thing that's going on. But having followed Diamond Media, it seems you've always been a few steps ahead. Whether it's hybrid, merging the traditional and digital, where you have maybe podcasts and TV. People talk about them, but then it's like everyone is just jumping on now. But it seems like you're always a few steps ahead. Was it something deliberate, or maybe this is something that you just want to be on the cutting edge in the industry?
Business is a competition. If you're going to come into business and want to be average, then there's no need to invest. Pack up and go. From the word go, the idea was that we're going to get into the market and be number one. If you can't be in the top 3, then pack up and go. So we don't play. And the things that make you stand out is exactly what you're talking about. We talk about customer experience. What is a customer experience? When you walk into a shop, you remember how you were treated. You remember how you were welcomed, and just the environment. Was it clean? Was it welcoming? Because you forget the amount at which you bought something in a shop, but it's how the experience was. And even with TV, people always say, my repeats. So even when you're telling the news, how is it different? Because everybody else has cameras, everybody else has presenters, everybody else will have the same content. It's news, but what is the differentiator that you have in there? And for me, I believe that whatever you do, there's only one gold standard. It's either it's good or bad. I always say this, that men will always get away. Like, who was saying the other day that but in the so but for women, you get that me, I always believe it's either an extreme. So in my mind, if we were ultimately a news channel as Diamond, my dream channel would be like a CNN. I love CNN because they're a bit semi-formal, but they're hard on facts, they're good on research, but they're very trendy. So yeah, that's that. And that's what sets you apart. And when you talk about digital, is it deliberate? No, it's not deliberate, it's adapting, because that's where the world is. That's where the world is going. You talk about AI now, you talk about all these things, that's where the world is going. You can't ignore them. If you don't adapt, you die. But coming to your question, why not make the same out of movie what Diamond is? It's not possible. Like I told you, when you're working for somebody, you toe the line of the vision of somebody else. So it was not going to be possible for me to make movie what Diamond is. In Diamond, I can experiment with what's the idea, but also you just don't dream alone. You have the idea. You have to identify a team that works around you to share in the vision of your idea. So again, you can have a great idea, but if the team doesn't believe, the idea won't work in the way you want it.
Speaking of team, what prompted you to go for a 20-year-old Jonah and then make him head of productions?
Gut. I mean, it's talent. If you see that somebody understands and has the drive, it's not that nobody has the monopoly of knowing everything. Not even I know everything right now. We always keep on learning, but it's always about you've worked with him. It's always about the want, the drive. I know he was inexperienced, but there's always people. There's always people to run the ship. Even after me, there will always be people. I think that's what African businesses fail to do, is to come up with what we call a continuity plan or a succession plan.
What Jews do.
Indians do that, yeah. So we didn't take a gamble, because I mean, you're saying we got him at 20.
Yes, that's 2017.
Really?
Because he was at QTV, so I'm wondering if you just listened to him on the radio and you're like,
no. I was shown. We didn't get him as production head. I was shown his clip, him casting news, and I said we need to get this guy. He belongs here. Yeah.
Also, you do that?
Who wants to try some crocodile?
I have it.
You have crocodile as well? Even you have crocodile?
Sure. Yeah.
Whoa.
I want to try it.
Yeah. You want to try some? You can take a bit of that. I've forgotten, what is your question? On the day what?
You left.
The day you left movie.
Like, was it now I've decided that now I'm leaving? Like, that's when the idea was formed.
No, of course. The idea is birthed. You've been thinking about it for some time.
I hope that we have
Crop me too.
This is nice. This is a cocktail prawn, right? Yeah. Have one. And what was your question again, Mataka?
Crocodile meat is so nice.
So you've had the idea for some time now.
Should have put them in.
But the day you decided
What
to
did you
say,
get? Okay, get it. I'll order some.
Surely this will not be an interaction if only one person is talking, right? Well, each of the contestants was given an opportunity to tell their stories. There is actually so much to learn from these individuals. We can't add all of it, but one was pretty touching. Here is Mike's story.
I was born rejected. Yeah, so my dad couldn't marry my mom because of tribal grounds. He was Shona, so according to them, he couldn't marry a Zambian. And so he rejected responsibility for the pregnancy in court by swearing. And so I was born rejected. So I've just had my mom all along and up until.
Does that affect you in any way?
Like I've learned, yeah, sometimes, but I've made peace with it because I met him when I was seeing my dad, because I grew up in an area where he was also residing. You understand? So no, in Livingstone. Yeah, they were Zimbabweans, but Livingstone. So me meeting him was actually a crime for me. So I remember at a young age he could somewhat steal me. Then they're telling you, I am your father. And as young as I was, I could look at this man and I'm seeing myself in him. And but he rejected me. Yeah, so the story was that known in the compounds that everybody that saw me with him could actually report that and stuff. So I could get a very, very, very beautiful beating after from my mom. Yeah, so my grandmother would tell me that, where you are just messing around home with someone, so, and then she would be like, because not so easy. So she could mock me like that. So she's like, you're the one that you basically was just a child that grew up without anything. Your father never even brought not even sugar. You have 500 kwacha, which is called the 15 way. You understand? So there were all those stories. Grandma could take me through them, how I was very, very sickling as a kid, how grandpa was disappointed with mom because mom had me when she was in grade 11, about to enter into a grade 12, and there are 9 in their family and mom is the only one that has completed grade 12, and now she's a teacher. So like she was the hope to grandma that this person is going to really be there, so they invested everything in her education, and then she had me. Grandma was disappointed. Grandfather rather was disappointed. And there were stories that were told to me by grandma that and because of the disappointment that I was supposed to be sacrificed. You understand? That was how much hatred he had for me through my mom and all that. But all those failed at a point where even he actually got a lifetime sickness that led to his death. So rest in peace. It was very unfortunate. My grandpa. Yeah, I literally grew up with him. And I could actually see even when we were like, you can tell from all that's when it was all that. So, but grandma could take me through all those stories. I actually led to him having that particular. He had like difficulties in walking. He could have swollen legs. All those were going through the attempt of having me as a sacrifice for him to be one of those. You understand? And so that was just how much of a disappointment I was to him.
Like we keep saying, the Diamond TV Presenter Search is a human experience. And young people like this come through to share their stories with the rest of the world. And for that, we greatly appreciate them. time's over, kids, because now Costa is ready to give the contestants their next task. After this, we're getting a step closer to our top 2.
So, we are into what will be the final showdown for you as your last task in this series of the Diamond TV Presenter Search Season 5. After this task, 3 of you will be eliminated, and we're only going to remain with the top 2 who will have to rest for a few weeks, go back home until we call you for the final session of the job interview. That will be the last thing. So, this week's task, like we told you, I hope you've been watching Season 3, Season 4, and now this is Season 5. You, the top 5 contestants, are being tasked to come up with a new show for Diamond Media. It's not an existing show on Diamond TV, but a new show that should be your own creation, your own innovation, and should be proposed as a flagship show for the year 2025. So it will be a brand new concept, a brand new idea of all the things that you've taken up, whether you want to do a magazine show that is intertwined into online, it can be a reality, it can be a lifestyle. We're giving you all the freedom to explore. But you need to do a pilot episode for this show and put yourselves together in terms of how you're going to script it, direct it, produce it, present it. But it has to be a show that Diamond TV would decide whether it deserves airplay for the next programming calendar for 2025. In this show, there will also be one interesting task, that there needs to be client content, meaning there has to be a sponsor. Fortunately for you, there is already a sponsor or a client segment that has been organized for you. ZRA on the 1st of July are rolling out what is called smart invoicing. So in your new show, you must be able to creatively incorporate client content of ZRA that captures smart invoicing. The producers will be able to give you more details on this, on how you interact with the client, but you need to creatively, in a non-conventional way, come up with something innovative. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So you're not asking me whether this show is 24 minutes, is 30 minutes, is an hour. It's up to you. But we want you to blow our minds out. In short, you're coming to pitch or propose a concept for a new show for Diamond TV for 2025. If you do a good job and manage to convince us that this show needs to go on air, we will have our marketing and sales team find sponsors for it and be able to sponsor all of you guys to produce that show for at least 13 episodes. If it's a show worthwhile, that blows our mind. But it's also from there that we'll be able to see who the weakest link is. So you need to bring out teamwork, but at the same time, individual brilliance. So that's your final and last showdown of your task. Good luck and all the best to the top 5. But after this task, I'm only going to be remaining with 2, as 3 of you will be going home. All the best.
Everybody wants to be the sunshine in your life, but I would rather be the moon that shines in your darkest moments. Everybody wants to be the sunshine in their lives, but I would rather be the moon that shines in your darkest moments.